Good evening, excuse me. It's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Lives. If you are joining us from Facebook or even YouTube Live, please feel free to leave a question or a comment. I'll hopefully be able to address anything as I go through the forecast here, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can address anything individually for you guys. But let's get started today, and we're actually going to start off with something not weather related, but obviously our top story of the day was that chemical fire that broke out in Warwick County near Newburgh. This is some video from earlier this afternoon we received from a viewer. You can see those plumes of smoke just billowing up in the sky there. Obviously something on fire. It is still unknown what exactly was on fire or what exactly was burning within that structure. We're still working to find out those details. However, it is at least suspected to be hazardous, which is why there has been some shelter-in-place orders put in place for primarily areas along Oak Grove Road and south of there down to the Ohio River, and then from State Route 261 all the way out to the Spencer County line. So that is where the shelter-in-place orders are in place still. There was a voluntary shelter-in-place order issued for portions of Davis County and eastern Henderson County, but those as of recently, within the last hour, have been allowed to lift due to a shift in some winds, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But for you folks who are included within this shelter-in-place area for that smoke, what exactly does shelter-in-place mean? Well, you want to stay indoors and you want to close all the windows and all the doors that are outside. And then while you're at it, you're going to turn off your heat and AC, and you also want to check back for updates for your county's emergency management, or obviously tuning into us. We'll have those latest updates as well as they come into us. So remember, if you are put in this shelter-in-place order, making sure that you're staying indoors, closing those windows, and turning off that AC to keep yourself safe. So here is a look at our current winds, which was causing a little bit of an issue earlier, which is why we had those shelter-in-place orders issued, but they've calmed down a good bit. We're clocking in at around 0 miles per hour for sustained wind speeds, and they'll actually be on the calmer side here for the next several hours. And then as we get towards the middle of the night, we actually may start to see the wind shift a little bit out of the south, but it'll generally be weaker. I'm not expecting that smoke to move a whole lot more until we get into tomorrow, when the winds come out of the northwest again, a little bit stronger. We could see wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour as well. So that may, if that material is still burning, may still cause an issue for some folks tomorrow. So that's kind of the latest on what we know about the fire. We'll obviously have more to that story tonight on 14 News at 10. Our Leslie Chapman was out there on the scene all afternoon, so she'll have us nice and updated coming up at 10 o'clock on 14 News. But to continue here with the forecast, it is going to be a breezier day for tomorrow. But in general, we're looking at, scattered rain yesterday. We cleared out early this morning. Maybe some of us woke up to some rain and some clouds, and then as we went through the day, you'll notice that it got clearer and drier, and we actually had a very nice day. Temperatures warmed all the way up into the mid-70s, 76 degrees in Evansville and Paducah, 73 down towards Bowling Green, and around 70 up towards Lexington. So a nice fall feel out there across the Ohio River Valley. And looking at our current temperatures, we've cooled down a good bit. Most of us actually sitting in the mid to upper 50s, especially for folks north of I-64. 59 in Oakland City, 57 in Mount Carmel. Here in Evansville, we're sitting at around 61 degrees. Same thing down towards Greenville. We'll continue to drop down out of the 50s and 60s and into the lower 50s overnight tonight. So going to be a chilly night here, and then again tomorrow night temperatures may be down into the upper 40s by early Monday morning. So maybe a chilly night. You kind of want to close the windows and maybe break out a sweatshirt if you got any outdoor plans. But looking at our Doppler radar, not tracking out any rain here through the rest of the night. We have high pressure in place. That is going to stick with us not only through the rest of the weekend, but also through much of next week. We really don't have much in the way of rain chances at all for the next 7 days, which normally I'm sure we would be excited about because it's going to be nice and sunny, but we haven't had rain, or at least a good amount of rain, in a long time. So we've actually picked up some drought conditions over the last few weeks, which I will show you that monitor momentarily. But for that forecast tonight, clear, cool, winds will be coming calm. and temperatures will be dropping down into the lower 50s. Tomorrow will warm right back up, similar to where we got to today, into the mid 70s with plenty of sunshine and a breeze out of the northwest. So tracking everything out here, got a few clouds streaming through during the overnight hours with that shift in the wind, but other than that, we're going to stay clear through tonight and into tomorrow. And then I mentioned before, we enter a little bit more of a drier pattern here. The outlook still showing that nice big shade of brown across the Ohio River Valley, indicating less indicating less than average precipitation for that time frame of the 12th through the 16th. And looking at the current drought monitor across the U.S., obviously the worst of the drought is always across the West Coast and especially in the desert Southwest. But here in the Mississippi and Ohio River Valleys, we've got a little bit of a drought situation going on of our own. Even here in the tri-state, we've got some moderate drought being observed in a few areas, especially along the Ohio River and southward into western Kentucky. So definitely could use some rain. It just doesn't really look like we're going to get any through the next 7 days. So here's a look at your rainstorm chances: 0 as far as the eye can see. And not only are we going to remain on the drier side, but unfortunately the heat is also going to start to crank up. So when we got hot temperatures, dry air, and no rain in the forecast, I anticipate that drought will likely worsen here within this next week, and we are outlooked for hazardous heat for the 14th through the 20th. So not only is it just going to get hot, it could get very, very hot again. So we're going to be talking about temperatures cracking 90 degrees by the end of next week. So that is what is going to be headed in our direction. And then again, we're going to remain above average there, obviously, with being outlooked there for excessive heat. So there's a look at your 7-day temperature trend. Our average high is usually sitting around 85 degrees, so we'll be below that for tomorrow and on Monday, but then we shoot right back up above average for the middle and end of next week, topping out in the 80s already by Tuesday, but nearly 90 degrees for Thursday and Friday, and possibly even into next weekend. So while it feels like fall and we are getting very, very close to the actual start of the fall season, it is still very much summer here in the United States, especially here in the Midwest. So that is all I have here for the forecast. Let me just go ahead and wrap it up for you in a little bow. Not much to really summarize here. It's going to be sunny, not much in the way of rainfall through the next 7 days. Cooler than average for the rest of the weekend, and then popping up above average for the middle and end of next week, topping out at around 90 by Thursday and Friday. So don't put away the short sleeves and the shorts just yet. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at some questions in the comments for you guys. Hopefully I can answer them. Looks like Laura Gray says she is watching from Dawson Springs. Thank you for joining us. Dan says good evening to all. Same thing from Cheyenne. And looks like Sari is saying hello from Henderson. Hello. Looks like, yes, Lacey is just reiterating the EAS alerts she got on her phone, saying that Henderson County and Director Garrett sent out the all clear after discussing with the National Weather Service at Paducah. That is for that shelter-in-place order that was momentarily in place earlier this evening. All right. Yeah, a lot of people asking about what could have been burning within that structure. Unfortunately, we just don't have those details yet. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through some of those details here in the coming days. So continue to check back with us. Oh, William, he's got our rainfall report today. Oh, that's depressing. Only 0.04 inches in his gauge today. We were hoping for a little bit more yesterday with some of the rain that moved in last night. And that is all I'm seeing here. It says Janetta Schaefer says hello from Newburgh. Well, hello to you as well. Hopefully you're all staying safe out there. Again, if you're included in that shelter-in-place order from Warwick County, definitely want to make sure you're staying indoors, turning off that AC, and closing those windows for now, because that hazardous material could be dispersed out in the air, and you don't want to be breathing that. But in terms of the weather, everything is all good to go on that front, so I'm going to hop off of the live stream. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Of course, until then, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night and stay safe.